Hello everyone! Today we're diving into the magical yet dark world of Snow White and exploring an intriguing question: is the evil queen really the villain we all think she is? In this video we'll uncover her story, her motivations, and how societal pressure may have led her down the path of evil. Get ready to see this iconic character from a completely new perspective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our explorations of characters we thought we knew. Let's get started. The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the classic Disney film released in 1937, has been a fundamental part of our collective imagination for generations. While the protagonist, Snow White, is celebrated as the embodiment of kindness and beauty, the evil queen has been labeled as the archetypal villain. But is the evil queen truly the monster we believe her to be? From the beginning of the film, the evil queen is presented as a feared and powerful figure. Her obsession with beauty and her desire to be the fairest in the land are evident. However, this desire does not arise out of nowhere. It is the result of a deep fear of losing her status and value in a society that prioritizes appearance above all else. In a world where beauty is synonymous with power, the evil queen finds herself trapped in a constant struggle to maintain her relevance. The famous phrase, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" not only reveals her vanity, but also her insecurity. Every time the mirror tells her that Snow White is more beautiful, a cycle of despair and rage is triggered. This pattern of behavior can be interpreted as a reflection of the societal pressures that women face, especially in cultures where youth and beauty are highly valued. The evil queen has no friends or allies. Her only company is the magic mirror, which provides her with cruel truths about her beauty. This isolation can lead to a downward spiral of paranoia and distrust, which could explain her decision to eliminate Snow White instead of seeking a more constructive solution to her insecurity. As we delve deeper into the evil queen's story, it becomes evident that her life is marked by loneliness. Though she is a figure of authority, her position is constantly threatened. The lack of meaningful relationships and emotional isolation are factors that contribute to her destructive behavior. Rather than being evil by choice, we could argue that her actions are driven by a profound sense of loneliness and desperation. The evil queen lives in a palace surrounded by luxury, yet she lacks the emotional support that meaningful relationships could provide. This emotional void manifests in her relationship with the mirror, which becomes her only source of validation. Her dependence on this magical object for affirmations about her beauty highlights her emotional vulnerability. In an environment where power and beauty are inseparable, her inability to accept the passage of time and changes in her appearance leads her to make drastic decisions. Her isolation can also be seen as a reflection of the social expectations imposed on women regarding how they should behave and interact with one another. Instead of finding companionship or support among women, the evil queen sees Snow White as a rival, intensifying her feelings of loneliness and despair. This cycle of competition and isolation not only fuels her villainy, but also reveals the internal struggles she faces as a woman in a society that superficially values beauty. By examining the solitude of power, we can better understand the motivations of the evil queen. Her desperate search to remain at the top is not simply an act of malice. It is a reflection of her own insecurities and the pain she feels at being threatened by a young girl who embodies what she fears losing. This perspective invites us to consider how circumstances shape our actions and decisions, even in the most vilified characters from our favorite stories. Another aspect that deserves attention is the role of female competition in the story. The evil queen sees Snow White not just as a rival in terms of beauty, but also as a threat to her power. Instead of viewing Snow White as a potential ally, the queen chooses to confront her. This reflects a common pattern in many female narratives where women are portrayed as competitors rather than collaborators. The story could have taken a different turn if the evil queen had chosen to accept Snow White as a young woman worthy of admiration rather than a threat. This alternative narrative would not only have enriched the queen's character, but would also have offered a more positive message about solidarity among women. Moreover, this competition can be seen as a reflection of the societal expectations imposed on women regarding how they should interact with each other. The idea that one woman must be better than another to be valued creates a toxic environment that can lead to destructive rivalries. While this is presented in many classic stories, it is especially relevant in today's context, where the fight against unrealistic beauty and success standards continues. Wait a moment, before we continue, we want to know your opinion. Do you think the evil queen is really the villain of the story, or is there more to her than meets the eye? Leave us a comment below and tell us what you think. Also, if you're enjoying this analysis, don't forget to give the video a like and share it with your friends. Your support helps us continue creating fascinating content. Now let's get get back to uncovering the truth behind the Evil Queen. Beyond her internal struggles, the environment in which the Evil Queen lives also plays a crucial role in her development as a character. Raised in a world where power is tied to beauty, she has been conditioned to believe that her worth depends on her appearance. This societal pressure is reflected in her behavior and decisions. The Evil Queen is a product of her environment. Her wickedness does not emerge spontaneously, but is the result of a system that values people superficially. In this sense, her character can be seen as a critique of the unrealistic standards imposed on women and how these can lead to destructive behaviors. For example, in many cultures, women are taught from a young age to value themselves based on their physical appearance. This teaching can create deep insecurities and an endless pursuit of unattainable standards. The Evil Queen represents this internal struggle, exacerbated by a hostile environment where beauty equates to power and respect. Over time, villain archetypes have been used to explore complex themes in storytelling. The Evil Queen, emblematic of such characters, embodies the classic archetype of the jealous and wicked woman. However, by analyzing her underlying motivations, we find a character grappling with her own inner demons. This complexity invites us to question our perceptions of what it means to be evil and how circumstances shape our actions. In recent years, there has been an effort to reimagine classic characters from a more inclusive and empathetic perspective. Films like Maleficent have taken iconic villains and explored their stories from a more understanding angle. This approach allows audiences to see them not just as antagonists, but as individuals with deep experiences and emotions. If Snow White were reimagined in this way, we could explore how the Evil Queen might find redemption or even reconciliation with Snow White. Instead of being simply a malevolent figure, she could be seen as a woman trapped by her own fears and insecurities, desperately seeking a sense of belonging and acceptance. At the end of the day, traditional narratives have taught us to see the Evil Queen as the epitome of evil. However, by adopting a more nuanced perspective, we can recognize that even the darkest characters have profound and meaningful stories behind them. Perhaps it is time to rethink who the real villains are in our favorite stories and what lessons we can learn from them. The Evil Queen is not just a symbol of evil. She is a powerful reminder of how societal expectations can shape our lives and decisions. In doing so, she invites us to reflect on our own struggles and the ways we can find empathy, even for those who seem to be our enemies. And there you have it, a look at the complexity of the Evil Queen and why she might not be the real villain of the story. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to keep exploring the nuances of other iconic characters, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Leave us your opinion in the comments. Do you see the Evil Queen differently now? We'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.